So far today, I've made 6,500 pounds, which equates into exactly 9,000 US dollars. And yesterday I made $3,500, which equates into about 2,500 pounds, give or take. Let me actually refresh this page to show that these are real numbers and that I'm not faking anything. And I did this through selling AI solutions to local businesses in my marketing agency. And in today's video, I'll pretty much walk you through exactly how I've been able to do that, including the niche, the offer, how I am booking calls, and also how we are closing the deals, so that after watching this video, you can pretty much go ahead and copy me in a sense. So let's get right into it. First of all, the offer. We serve just one specific niche, and that's really about it, which is law firms. And we also have niche down even further than that. So we don't pretty much work with all sorts of different law firms. We work with only specific types of area of law firms, and that's really about it. And the reason why we have done this is because this positions us as the experts in the field. So when we speak to a law firm, especially the one that's within that specific sub niche, they have a significantly bigger desire to work with us because we are experts there and we can charge way more, and we have significantly more depth of understanding of their business compared to other agencies that just simply work with all sorts of different businesses, as an example. And also on top of that, this makes the fulfillment be significantly more easier for us because we can just simply go ahead and copy paste the same solution for every single client. Now, if you currently do not have a niche that you serve, then here's a couple example niches that you can get into. And really the main thing to look out for is making sure that these niches are not tech savvy to a point where they would know how to build out these AI solutions themselves. But also what's even more important is to make sure that they have a relatively high customer value where they charge a lot of money upfront to their own client, and ideally preferably their LTV is relatively high as well, because this way you just need to help them get a couple clients and that already pays off your entire service fee, compared to if you work with lower ticket businesses where you need to give them a bunch of clients just to break even on the service. Now the second thing as well that we do is we sell them exactly what they want, which for law firms is more cases and more appointments that are qualified. That's exactly what they want, so we deliver and sell them exactly that. And if you think about it, 99% of businesses out there, they want pretty much a similar thing like that as well. They want more clients, they want more appointments, more leads, because those are the only three things every business needs to go ahead and make money. So you want to sell them exactly what they want, which is a path towards making more money. And then after that, you want to have a desirable promise that you can promise them to get. And that's pretty much exactly what we have built out ourselves as well. And that's the reason why a lot of these law firms want to work with us, because we have a desirable promise that we promise them in a sense. Now, I'm not going to walk you through the exact promise that we promise these guys because I don't want you to go ahead and copy that basically. But here's a couple examples as to what you can do, which is 75 qualified appointments over a period of 90 days guaranteed, 60 estimates in 90 days guaranteed, or whatever else it might be, okay? Because at the end of the day, these businesses, they do not care about the actual service itself. They care about how, or more of like what the actual outcome is itself. After this, I have a very good packaging as well, because in our offer, we pretty much solve for every single bottleneck that will prevent them from getting to their desired outcome, which is more cases. And this makes it so that when we actually pitch these law firms, they see that there is no path towards failure, and that massively increases the closing rate. So we basically help them with getting quality leads. We build out AI agents that do all the pre-qualification of these leads once they come in. We also place a human setter that goes ahead and calls those leads as well. We also have the AI and the setter make sure that they show up to the appointments. We build out all the landing pages, Zapier automations, emails, SMS automations, pretty much all that foundation that the client needs as well. We even coach the client on sales. I have built out an entire sales training that we give them in order to increase the closing rate. And on top of that, we also coach them on how to follow up the leads after the sales call if they did not convert. And right now, the current moment, we are also looking into the options of placing closers to these law firms, so that this way they only pay us for our service, and then they just sit back, they have leads coming in, they have the AI and the human setter pre-qualify every single lead, and then there is also the closer that closes all these deals. And this is exactly what allows us to charge a lot of money for our service, where we charge anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 for our program basically, compared to us just simply selling them a simple AI agent that we would struggle to sell for even like $2,000 as an example, right? So you want to do something similar where you sell them exactly what they want, then you package that into a promise that gets them what they want, how much of that they want, whether it's specific amount of appointments, specific amount of clients, specific amount of leads. And then you package that together into a solution where you solve for every single bottleneck that will prevent them from actually getting there. And then you go ahead and also slap on AI into that, where you find out multiple, AI tools that you can combine together as an entire AI growth infrastructure that will make it more simple, more fast, and more efficient to actually get them to that result. So for us, like, we have AI agents that we can build that go ahead and call the leads, AI chatbots, AI content structure, multiple other things that we can combine together that actually gets them more appointments and more cases. So you want to do something similar, find out what they want, then how much of that they want, then solve for every single bottleneck that will prevent them from achieving success, and have AI be as the service that actually solves all these bottlenecks in a sense. And also what we do is we have a guarantee in our offer where we offer a full 100% refund guarantee if we do not get to a specific quota. So you can do something similar like that as well, where it's either a refund guarantee or you'll work for free until you get to that specific result type of guarantee. Now, we do not sell this guarantee upfront. Instead, what we do is we obviously hop on a sales call the prospect, and if they do not buy from the actual service itself, then we go ahead and push them over the edge by slapping on a guarantee, and then that makes those skeptical prospects go ahead and make a decision and work with us. And on top of that, what we also do is we not only sell them on the beauty of the service, where we solve for every single bottleneck and get them exactly what they want and get them the exact amount of what they want. Not only do we do that, which in a lot of cases by itself already sells the entire service, but not only do we do that, we also go ahead and sell them on the numbers by using this ROI calculator to project their actual return of the entire program, where we use their own numbers against them to make them go ahead and pretty much purchase from us. So the way how it works is that we right here include the number of clients that they want to get. So let's say as an example, that would be 20. And then we would ask the prospect on a sales call, what is their average client value? So let's say as an example, they would say that's $7,000. And then we would ask them, what is their average close rate? And let's say as an example, that would be 40%. So that then shows us the amount of appointments that we need to get them in order to actually achieve this goal. Now, in order for us to get them these 50 appointments a month, as an example, we would need to have a relatively high ad spend. So this is where what we do is we tell to the prospect that, hey, look, in order for us to get you to this goal, we will need to have a relatively high ad spend. However, what we would suggest to start off with is just $3,000 per month in ad spend over a period of 3 months, which would allow us to get so amount of appointments, which could be, 60 appointments, 70 appointments, 80 appointments, 30 appointments, whatever you think you can get them throughout a period of 3 months with that specific ad spend. So let's say as an example, that would be 65 appointments. Then that basically calculates all the rest of the numbers right here. It shows up what is their projected return that they could get from working with you, given their close rate, okay? And also given their average client value, which as you can see right here, it's $182,000 in projected revenue over a period of 3 months, not including even their customer lifetime value long term. So through you doing this, if you sell them exactly what they want, you sell them exactly the amount of what they want, you package your offer that solves for every bottleneck, and then on top of that, you have AI that solves for those bottlenecks, that gets them where they want to get to using AI, and then you have a guarantee on top of that as well. And then you also have this ROI calculator that sells them on the numbers. You can see pretty straightforward how you can go ahead and sell a service for 10K, 15K, 20K compared to just simple AI agent where you barely can charge, $1.5 grand, $2 grand for the actual, build out of the AI agent as an example, right? So that's really how we do it. Now, here's an example of the service that pretty much we are selling that you can go ahead and also take inspiration from. And also for context, guys, if you want to work with me directly one-on-one, where I can help you build out your own AI offer similar to this, and also pretty much coach you on a bunch of other things such as how to close more deals, how to book calls, walk you through exactly how we are fulfilling for our clients so you can take the entire SOP, all the automations, all the snapshots, everything A to Z, then go ahead and take a look on the link in the description section down below. It's going to be the top link right there where you can apply to work with me one-on-one. I'm currently taking on a couple one-on-one clients for this in a sense, so if that's what you're interested in, then you'll find a link right there below. But other than that, really here's a service that we are selling right now, and also what you can go ahead and take inspiration from. So the very first thing is lead generation to actually solve for the first bottleneck, which is lack of leads. And the way how we do that is through a combination of Facebook and Google Ads. And here's the AI stack that we are using, where we use a combination of HeyGen with ChatGPT. Now we use ChatGPT to come up with ad creative scripts, ad concepts, ad copy, and any other copywriting that we might need basically. And then we use HeyGen to go ahead and use AI UGC creators to create UGC ads. So this is the platform right here that they basically have. And then we just simply go into the UGC creator section right here. And then we have hundreds of UGC creators that we can use to go ahead and create some really good ads for the clients, basically with the scripts that, say as an example, ChatGPT has created for us. And then we also use Zapier to create automation to send leads to Go High Level and also to the leads database on a Google spreadsheet, basically. After this, the second thing that we help the client with is the actual appointment setting and the intake, which we do as a complete done-for-you service, including the same as we do with the lead generation. Here's the AI stack that we use. We use Synthflow to create AI agents, and we also use Go High Level to basically host all their foundational things, such as the landing pages, SMS automations, email automations, calendars, etc., and also build out chat AI agents on Go High Level that speak to the leads as well. Now with Synthflow, here's their platform right here where you can actually create AI agents that call these leads right away as they come in from the ads that you generate. So this way you can help the client with the intake, which is exactly what we're doing right now. But then on top of that, we also place a real human setter in here as well. So not only there is AI, but there is also a human that does the intake as well. And then we also have Zapier automations that put everything together and have intake spreadsheets where we track all of the intake process for every single lead to make sure that no prospect slips through the cracks, basically. The third thing that we help the client with is the sales aspect of things, which is done with you. And what I found is that with a lot of businesses out there, they have extremely terrible sales processes. So you definitely want to help your clients with the sales aspect as well, because if you get them really good quality leads and you book really good amount of appointments, but if they're not signing anybody because of their lack of sales ability, then they're not gonna stay for long and you're not gonna retain the client for a long period of time. So you want to help them with the sales aspect as well. And the way how we do that is kind of like through this AI stack of ChatGPT with Fathom. Fathom is basically this note taker that hops on their Zoom calls to take notes and summarize the conversation, basically. So we use that so that we can then get the call recordings. We can review the call recordings for the client, for example, and provide them feedback on what they need to improve on. But we also use ChatGPT to put that, recording in there, the transcript of it, and then ask ChatGPT to provide further feedback on what needs to be improved for that specific client. On top of that, I've also made a complete 4-hour plus sales training for the clients where I've walked through all of the things that our older clients are doing right now that are crushing it and making a bunch of money. And also just kind of like my own knowledge in sales over the years, what they should be doing on these sales calls, basically. So we include that there as well. And then on top of that, we also pretty much provide the client with a sales script that they can use on these sales calls. So you want to do something similar like that as well, where you give them a sales script, review some of their calls, have some automations in place with ChatGPT where it provides feedback on their actual call recordings. And the fourth point that we do as well is social media content, which is as a done with you and a done for you service. With some clients, we literally have AI record all the content for them, while for other ones we have the client get on camera and record a couple of pieces of content per month where they only spend about 4 hours a month max to record the content. So the way how we do it is we use ChatGPT to come up with some content ideas and scripts and also some graphic images. But what we found working really well as far as video content goes is short form content where it is reaction videos, educational videos, Q&As, and also results. So you can use similar types of topics in your content for your clients as well, because those work really, really well across multiple different industries. And then you can have the client get on camera to record that content. You can just simply use HeyGen UGC AI creators to go ahead and create a content instead. That's what we do with some of the other clients as well. And the last thing right here as well is this tool called Submagic, which is this tool right here. It allows you to pretty much, edit all of the videos for the client using AI. We're not using it too much in our agency because I have somebody who does all the video editing himself using CapCut, but that's, a solution that you can have right there as well, basically. Now, with that being said, let's go on to the second point, which is how to actually book calls. Now, the best way how I've seen to book calls is through using Facebook ads. I have tried cold outreach before with emails, cold DMs, cold calling and things like that. But honestly speaking, it's a complete waste of time compared to the types of results I've been able to achieve with Facebook ads. That's why if I'll be starting from scratch now, or if I would have an agency where, you know, I have a difficulty getting clients and booking appointments, I would just go and do Facebook ads. And so far this year, I've spent roughly about £36,000 or give or take about $50,000 of my own money on Facebook ads. And that has yielded me into a relatively good, well, I mean, relatively more of like a really, really good profit from this spend right here. So I would just recommend to just go into Facebook ads, by the way, and do them as well. And really, here's how you can do it. The very first thing that you have to do is you have to use static graphics. I've seen those working really, really well for me. Now for you, maybe videos could work. That's why you want to use a combination of videos and static graphics. And I'll talk about videos here in a minute. But when it comes down to static graphics, you want to have a direct response offer being run on these ads, where you have a simple image like this, where you have a call out of your market right here. You include what the offer is, and then you pretty much tell them that it's obviously, you know, guaranteed or you don't pay, and have the call to action to go ahead and fill out the form down below. Here is one style that I've seen working really well. Here is another one. And here is another one right here. This is kind of like this Twitter style one. And this one right here, by the way, this black one with the black background, is the one that I've seen working really, really well for me. It's currently the absolute main money maker for my agency. So you can go ahead and completely steal it and, you know, take inspiration from it or whatever and just use it basically. And the other thing as well that I've seen working really well is using ChatGPT, which is with a combination of this prompt right here. So you can copy this prompt, put it into ChatGPT, and then it's gonna come up with different types of content or more of like ad creative concepts that you can then go ahead and ask ChatGPT to create and then run those as ads as well. Here's a couple examples of the concepts that it came up with as I run a test for roofers as an example. And here's a couple examples of the concepts that it did come up with. So you can go ahead and take this specific prompt and put it in there and then get some ad creators made like this as well, but which are in the actual static format. But the second option is to create UGC AI videos, right? Using HeyGen. So you just simply go into the platform and then click on the UGC creators, record the content right there using the script, and then after that edit it and have a combination of videos as well. For me personally, I've seen image ads working significantly better in my niche compared to videos. It could be just that lawyers are very busy where they don't have time to watch an entire video. That's why they respond significantly more to image ads instead. But for you, it might be opposite. So that's why you want to test out both static graphics and also AI videos. But the way how you want to do that is through basically having a direct response offer being run in all of these ads, whether it's videos or image ads. And here is examples of the actual scripts that you can use. Here is one of the hooks, then you see the second one, then you see the third one, and then you also see the fourth one. So I've included right here for you 4 hooks that I've seen working really, really well. And then at the bottom, you have one main body of the video where you explain how you get clients results and then as well dropping case studies. So this way you have 4 different hooks and then one main body. And then you can see which specific hook is going to perform the absolute best. So that's what you can do right there. And so once you have these ad creatives created, you then want to go ahead and have an actual targeting point that you can use for these ads. Now, for me personally, I've seen lookalikes working extremely, extremely well compared to regular interest targeting. That's why the way how my current setup for the ads is I've got 2 specific campaigns. One is instant forms and one is web opt-ins with the pixel event. And with the instant forms, I've got 2 specific ad sets, a 1% lookalike and then a 2 to 3% lookalike from a list that I've created. And on the second campaign, which is the web opt-ins, I've got 1%, 1 to 3% and 2 to 3%. So for you, it might be different. You might see other percentages working really well. That's why what I would recommend you to do is basically scrape a list off of this software called Apollo.io, where it's a database of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of businesses. And you can go on there, filter by specific criteria points, and export a list of leads that you can then upload onto Facebook and create this lookalike audience on off. So if you are, for example, serving roofers, then you can find roofing companies there where you export data from them and then you upload that on Facebook to find other roofing companies. Or if you work with dentists or whatever else that might be, you can obviously use that accordingly. I don't remember how much it costs every month. It wasn't anything too expensive, but you can create an account right there with a free trial, get the list, and then after that cancel it if you want to, as an example. And then just simply have lookalikes and run lookalike ads. And here's the structure that you can kind of like use depending on your budget. If you have $50 a day or less in budget that you can use on ads, then here's the structure that I would recommend, where you have one campaign only, which is optimized for instant forms, and you have each ad set put at $10 a day. So if you got $50 a day, then you have 5 ad sets, each at $10 a day. If you got $30 a day, then you have 3 ad sets, each at $10 a day. And here's how you can basically use these, targeting points, where you can have one ad set with a 1% lookalike, then you can have the second ad set with a single interest, where you find an interest that's similar to your specific niche. Then you can have another one which is at 1 to 2% lookalike, then another interest, then a lookalike of 2 to 3%, etc., etc. And include in each single ad set 2 ad creatives in there, so that you can test out and see which one basically is going to work the best. Now, if you have more than $50 a day, say as an example you've got 100 or more, then the structure is basically the same. The only thing that you are changing is the amount of money that you're spending per each single ad set, so that this way you are able to get data significantly quicker compared to spending just $10 a day. So you want to send them to an instant form. That's the absolute best way to start off with. It's going to get you most of the leads compared to sending people to a landing page and having them opt in there. But once you send them to an instant form, the lead is going to opt in, and then what you want to do is you want to create a Zapier automation where it sends people to a go high level workflow, where you have multiple emails and SMSs being sent to that lead, asking them to go ahead and book a call and things like that. So here is like an example workflow that, I've been using for my own agency, where, we wait for 1 minute. Once they opt in, it sends an email with an SMS, then it waits for about 21 hours, sends them an email, waits for some more time, and then sends them more emails, more SMSs and things like that. Now, I'll attach in the description section down below the exact snapshot of the Go High Level account that I've been using. So if you want to, you can just go ahead and click on it, and it's going to copy it into your Go High Level account, and you can take the entire Go High Level snapshot with all these automations and stuff like that. So I'll put it in the description section down below. But you want to send them to a workflow that sends all those automations and things like that, so it prompts them to book a call. But then from there on out, once they have filled out the form and all that stuff, you then want to send them to a landing page where they can book a call. And in that landing page, you want to have at the very top right here, the explanation of the offer once again, and then you want to include a DSL or a VSL. Now, if you don't know what a DSL is, it's basically a VSL, but it's structured in a deck format, so they can slide through the slideshow compared to watching a video. So you want to have either of those right here, and then at the bottom, you want to include the actual calendar itself for them to go ahead and book a call. Okay, with multiple different questions on the actual calendar. So do that, and then once they have booked in the appointment, you want to then send them to a thank you page. And here is an example of how the thank you page essentially looks like, where at the very top you have a video that explains more about how you help your clients get that specific result. Include right here below some more information about why did you start the business and how you operate. And then right here below include instructions on how they can accept the calendar event to ensure that they show up to the appointment and how it shows up on their actual calendar itself. And then below you want to include as much content as you physically can. Include client results, client testimonials, social proof, anything that you can have where it's going to increase the certainty in your actual service. So have a landing page where they can book a call, and then after that send them to a thank you page with more content and case studies. Now, most of the people that will come in, from experience, what I've seen is that they're not gonna self-book the call themselves. So that's where what you need to do is you need to have a setter in place who goes ahead and calls the other half of the people that do not self-book the appointments. So this way you get significantly more appointments being booked in for the amount of money that you're spending. Because if you just rely on self-bookings, your cost per book call is gonna go through the roof. The way how I would recommend to do this is to hire a setter from Argentina for $400 per month, and also pay them $10 per each single qualified show-up call. That's something similar that we are using right now in my own agency, and they are extremely hardworking people. That's a lot of money for them, and it's good opportunity for you, and it's also a good opportunity for them. So that's what you can do right there as well. And then the other thing as well is record a couple retargeting ads that will further nurture these prospects before they hop on a sales call with you. So record anywhere between 4 to 8 ads where you spend just $1 a day on each single one of them, and mix in their value videos that are between 2 to 5 minutes long, and also case studies where it could be either video case studies of maybe like client interviews, or you recording a video video walking through a specific client result, or even static images of Slack messages from the client or whatever that might be. So have between 4 to 8 ads where you're spending $1 a day on each single one of them, so that when they book a call, then they are being bombarded with that content the next time they go on Facebook or Instagram or, you know, the Facebook audience network channels, and it nurtures them even more, where it makes it significantly more easy for you to close them, and then also increases the chances of them showing up. And the last thing right here, really, when it comes down to the appointments, is to then send them to a workflow where you have all the automations for calendar confirmation, the SMS reminders, email reminders, all that stuff. And once again, you can find a snapshot in the description section down below where you can copy all these automations with just a single click, basically. So that's how to book calls. And the last thing that I'm gonna walk you through right here is the actual aspect of closing the deals. Now, for me personally, I have a closer who takes all these calls, but for you, if you do not have a closer, then take the calls yourself. And what you really want to do is you want to conduct an extremely good discovery phase in that call, where you dig very, very deep into what are their bottlenecks. The main things that you need to find out is what is their current situation in general, why did they decide to hop on a call with you today, what's the main bottleneck, why is that a bottleneck, for how long has it been a bottleneck, what have they tried in the past to solve that bottleneck, how has that been affected their business, what is the goal, what other agencies they've worked in the past, how did it go, why did it go bad, what do you think should have been done differently to get a better result, if it did go well, then why did you stop working with them, if you currently are working with them, then why you're looking for other marketing agencies that can help you. Just dig very, very deep and get all the information you need that you're going to use against them on the actual sales call. And really the way how we do it, for example, in my agency, is we use this thing called the Google Doc Close with 3 pillars. So if I show an example right here, this is how it looks like, where we have this Google Doc where we take all of the notes of the prospect on the actual call itself. And then right here below, we have the pillars that explain our 3 main core deliverables for our service to make it unreasonable for them not to get to that specific result they want to get to. Once we basically use this, then we take all the notes, and then once we go into the sales phase of the call, the closer goes ahead and shares screen and shows this entire document where the prospect can see the notes and they can also see the pillars. And the reason why this works significantly better compared to a slide presentation deck that everybody else is using is because, you know, a slide deck is exactly what everybody else is using, right? And it doesn't come off as a consultation call in a sense, because once we use this deck, you know, it comes off more as a consultation call. It doesn't feel like a sales call. It provides a lot of value to the clients, and it's also different. That's why I've seen that working significantly better. And like I said, we combine that together with 3 pillars, where the 3 pillars are basically your main, you know, core deliverables, how you get clients results. So when you pitch each single pillar, you want to tie each single pillar to their pains, their goals, and how you are different and how this is different compared to what they have tried ever in the past. All right. And then after this, go ahead and pull up that, you know, ROI calculator. That's going to once again show them all the numbers into the perspective, which is going to make the sale be even more no-brainer. Until you're doing this, you then go ahead and start closing the deals. And that's exactly the structure that we are using right now. Now, like I mentioned, if you want to work with me one-on-one on exactly how I can help you do all of this as well, then you'll find the link in the description section down below where you can apply to work with me one-on-one. Through this landing page, just fill out this, you know, information. I'm gonna review it and reach out to you if I see that I can actually help you. But other than that, guys, I hope that you found this video really, really valuable. And yeah, I'll be seeing you in the next one.